You dumped your soulmate like garbage in the middle of the woods, didn't you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Just like your phone said you did. And then you drove back down her beaded car with the missing bumper and the missing wheel well, and you dumped her car just like you dumped her at the corner of Bell and Montrose, didn't you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Investigators believe a Fort Valley State student died at the hands of her boyfriend.
February 14th, 2020. Valentine's Day in Fort Valley, Georgia. A father stares at his phone, reading messages from his daughter. The words are there, but something feels off. Something isn't right. Hours pass. No calls. No responses that sound like her. Then police find a car abandoned on Greer Road. The front bumper is damaged. The door is unlocked, but there's no driver. The vehicle belongs to Anitra LaShay Gunn, a 23-year-old student at Fort Valley State University. Her phone is still active, still sending messages. But where is she? Officers begin searching the area around Greer Road. What they find in the woods will turn a day meant for love into a story of tragedy and violence. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Have you ever heard of this case? What state or country are you watching from? Drop a comment below. Here's what happened.
Search continues for a missing Fort Valley State student, Anitra Gunn, and now authorities are offering a reward for information on where she might be. Crime Stoppers head Warren Shelby says the Peach County Sheriff and Byron and Fort Valley Police are offering that $5,000 reward, and they are looking for clues on what happened to the student. Also, a key piece of evidence in the case. Our Zach Merchant is now live at the scene where search teams were searching just yesterday. Good afternoon, Zach.
Yeah, Aaron, this road is where a relative of Anitra Gunn's boyfriend lives. It is, as you can see, pretty quiet right now, but yesterday it was crawling with first responder search parties. We're going to pop some video up on your screen right now so you can see what it looked like yesterday. Even though the search is no longer going on at this location at the moment, law enforcement still working to dig up new leads and clear up some discrepancies on some old information. Many of you pointed out a discrepancy in the timeline of this case provided by law enforcement yesterday. Some sources said Anitra was last seen Thursday night. Others said it was Friday morning. Today, GBI Special Agent in Charge J.T. Ricketson said the task force searching for Anitra is trying to clear up exactly that discrepancy. And he says one piece of evidence could be a key to unlocking the case. Anitra's car was found over the weekend, but its front bumper was missing. Peach County Sheriff Terry Deese says finding that bumper is essential.
We think that bumper is very important. Right now, everybody's a suspect. You know, we want to find this young lady. You know, in cases like this, we're not going to leave any rocks uncovered.
Anitra LaShay Gunn was 23 years old, a student working toward her future at Fort Valley State University. She had goals, dreams, people who cared about her. But she was also caught in a relationship she desperately wanted to escape. Her boyfriend was Demarcus Little, also 23. What started as a relationship became a cycle of fear and abuse. He slashed her tires. He threatened her. He stalked her movements. And every time Anitra tried to walk away, he found a way to pull her back in. She tried to end it. Not once, not twice, multiple times. But he refused to let her go.
And a tragic end in the search for a missing college student last seen on Valentine's Day. Police believe they may have found the body of Anitra Gunn. Maura Siriani live outside GBI headquarters for us this morning. And Maura, Anitra's boyfriend has been arrested in connection with this case?
Yeah, he has. So right now, Gunn's boyfriend, Demarcus Little, is being labeled as a person of interest in this case. Now, I want to get you right to his mugshot because the 22-year-old was taken into custody not too long after that body was located and charged with criminal damage to property. That's after detectives say he broke windows at Gunn's apartment and slashed her tires back on February 5th. Investigators found the body believed to be that of Anitra Gunn Tuesday afternoon near the Peach-Crawford County line. Weather conditions, they say, making the search rather difficult. Peach County Sheriff Terry Deese says the body was found partially covered, quote, as if someone tried to hide it.
I think it's pretty common sense who our person of interest is.
Can you say it though out loud?
It's the boyfriend. I mean, we've talked to him 3 times.
February 14th, 2020. Demarcus Little brought Anitra to his aunt's house in Fort Valley. There, he told her he loved her. Again, Anitra laughed it off. She didn't take him seriously anymore. Maybe she thought deflecting would keep things calm. Maybe she was just tired of hearing the same words from someone who had hurt her so many times. That laugh was the last sound she made. Demarcus Little strangled her to death. Then he made a plan. He couldn't let anyone know what he had done. He took her body and loaded it into her own car. He drove to a wooded area off Greer Road and left her there, hidden among the trees. The car's bumper was damaged in the process. Evidence he couldn't erase. But he wasn't done. He still had her phone. He sent text messages to her father, pretending to be Anitra. Casual messages. Nothing alarming. Just enough to buy himself time. What do you think was going through her father's mind when he read those texts? Let me know in the comments.
Afternoon in Fort Valley. Ensley, can you tell us about today's arrest?
Well, Frank, almost a week ago, Demarcus Little was arrested for malice murder. A warrant later revealed Anitra Gunn was strangled. Now the GBI made a second arrest in relation to Gunn's murder case, and they say more could follow. Press conference Wednesday afternoon, GBI Assistant Special Agent Todd Crosby announced a second arrest in the Anitra Gunn murder investigation.
Through that continued investigative act and review of evidence, enough probable cause has been established to charge Javon Abram.
Crosby says the 21-year-old was charged with 2 counts of false statements in Valdosta, Georgia, and 1 count of concealing a death in Peach County. Investigators say Abram is friends with Demarcus Little. Little was charged with the murder of Anitra Gunn, his girlfriend, sometime on Valentine's Day.
During an investigation, we're not going to leave any stone unturned.
Investigators recovered Gunn's cell phone, but the front bumper to her car is still missing.
He just started, he was like, man, you know, I was talking to me, bro, and I was pouring my heart out to her, I was talking to her, and he was like, trying to tell her how I feel about it, and how, you know, how much I love her and stuff. And he was like, she ended up laughing in my face. He was like, Brian, I don't know what happened, I just blacked out. And I hit him. Then he was like, when he was like, after that, like, he just grabbed her and started choking her. And he was like, while he was choking her at first, she was trying to fight back or whatever. But then he was like, at a point in time, she just stopped fighting. So he felt like she had wanted to be home with her. She wanted to go with her mom. So he.
Did he tell you what he did with Anitra's body?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he tell you?
He had told that he had told me that he had took her and dumped her in the woods. And that's when we was like, he was like, he was telling me, like, yeah, I had to get rid of her, bro. And he was like, but I gotta go get this bumper. And that's when we was pulling the wood. And that's when I about shit on myself.
Anitra's father knew his daughter, and those messages didn't sound like her. He reported her missing. Police moved quickly. They found her car on Greer Road with the damaged bumper. Then they found her body in the woods nearby. Demarcus Little was arrested and charged with murder, but he didn't act alone in the cover-up. His friend, Javon Abram, was charged with concealing a death and making false statements to investigators. Abram, however, made a choice. He cooperated with authorities and testified against Little in court.
Slashed your soulmate's tires. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You broke your soulmate's window.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You threatened to shoot up a man that your soulmate was going out with.
Yes, ma'am.
You told her that you were committing suicide and it was her fault, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You saw the text message where she said that you were outside her house and you wouldn't leave. You did that on repeated occasions, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You showed up at her house uninvited, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
She repeatedly told you, stop coming back, didn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
She told you that your relationship was toxic and that you couldn't be together, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And every time You talked her back in to the two of you being together, didn't you?
No, ma'am.
Isn't it just like your phone says that at 4, you went back to 420, you told Javon, go on, Sierra's gonna come get me, and you got back in Anitra's car and you drove it over ditches and trees, causing the bumper to fall off, causing everything else to break apart, and you dumped your soulmate like garbage in the middle of the woods, didn't you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Just like your phone said you did. And then you drove back down her beaded car with the missing bumper and the missing wheel well, and you dumped her car just like you dumped her at the corner of Bell and Montrose, didn't you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Just like your phone said you did.
No, ma'am.
So your phone is lying.
The jurors were shown text between Demarcus and Anitra.
November 1st, 2019 at 12:28:19 a.m. I think we should stop talking to each other altogether. That's the only way you'll be able to process what's actually going on, and I won't keep changing my mind just to accommodate to your feelings.
Gunn added, "Love you forever," and called Little the, quote, love of my life. Hours later, Little responded saying he planned to take his life.
I swear I don't want you to feel responsible, Mitra. I was broken before you ever came along, and now it's nothing left.
Little responded saying that Gunn, quote, broke him down and that she would, quote, need to deal with the consequences. Just 5 days later, Little and Gunn were texting again. This time, Demarcus questioning Anitra's relationship with another man.
9:52, Demarcus Little, like, bro, we finna have some serious problems if you go out with him.
Little even sends a screenshot of a text message to her. It shows Little offering someone $200 to harm the man he believes had a relationship with Gunn. Then in January 2020, text messages reveal Gunn's distress over her relationship with Little.
You just came in my house last night without open invitation, touched me several times after me repeatedly asking you not to, forcefully took my keys away from me, but when I retaliated, I was the bad guy.
Prosecutors built their case with facts that couldn't be disputed. Phone GPS data showed exactly where Demarcus Little had been that day. The location matched the woods where Anitra's body was found. Text message records revealed the deception. Messages sent from her phone after she was already dead. The damaged car tied him to the scene. And Javion Abrams' testimony filled in the gaps. There was no room for doubt.
I'll ask the defendant to stand to receive the verdict. I'll ask the clerk to publish the verdict.
The Superior Court of Peach County, State of Georgia versus Demarcus Devontae Little. The verdict is count 1, malice murder. Read the jury find Demarcus Devontae Little not guilty. For count 2, felony murder. Read the jury find Demarcus Devontae Little guilty. Count 3, aggravated assault. Read the jury find Demarcus Devontae Little guilty.
He was sentenced to life in prison.
Justice for her family has arrived. The family now has closure, but are left with only the memories of Anitra. And this is just sad for both of the families, sending prayers.
This is how you're reacting online after a jury handed down a verdict in the murder trial of the 2020 death of Fort Valley State University student Anitra Gunn. The man accused of strangling and killing Gunn on Valentine's Day back in 2020, now convicted and sentenced. Jurors found Demarcus Little guilty of murder in connection with the death of his former girlfriend.
Our Ashlyn Webb takes you inside the emotional day in court and details what led up to the jury's decision.
After 7 long days of testimony and 3 hours of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict, finding Demarcus Little guilty of aggravated assault and felony murder and not guilty of malice murder.
Among cries of relief from Anitra Gunn's family, Demarcus Little was put in handcuffs and escorted out. Judge Connie Williford sentenced Little to the maximum penalty, life without the possibility of parole. The sentence Anitra Gunn's family asked the court for Tuesday. Her godmother, sister, and cousin all stood before the judge, saying Little stole the life Anitra Gunn was just beginning and the memories her family could have made with her.
There will be no more birthday parties, holiday celebrations, or family activities to share
The verdict comes after 7 long days of testimony, hearing from key witnesses including Gunn's best friend, Little's aunt, and Little's best friend, Javon Abram, who told investigators that Demarcus Little confessed he murdered Anitra Gunn in February 2020.
And the prosecution says Little's own phone was the biggest witness against him. Investigators used GPS locations from his phone on Valentine's Day 2020.
Little claimed all those locations were correct, except when his phone was tracked to the woods off of Greer Road, where investigators found Gunn's body.
The trial laid everything bare. Demarcus Little was convicted of felony murder and aggravated assault. The jury did not convict him of malice murder, but the outcome was the same. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He will never walk free. He will never have the chance to hurt anyone else the way he hurt Anitra. This case wasn't just about one violent act on Valentine's Day. It was about control. Anitra tried to leave. She saw the danger. She knew the relationship was wrong. But leaving someone who refuses to let you go is the most dangerous decision a person can make. The slashed tires weren't just vandalism. They were warnings. The stalking wasn't love. It was obsession. And when someone refuses to hear the word no, that's not devotion. That's danger. The signs were there. They always are. If you know someone going through this, say something. If you're in this situation yourself, reach out. There are people who can help. There are resources available. Anitra deserved better. She deserved to finish school. She deserved to live her life free from fear. Have you witnessed something like this in your own community? What do you think could have been done to prevent this tragedy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story affected you, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We tell these stories so victims like Anitra LaShay Gunn are never forgotten. Anitra was 23 years old, a student, a daughter, someone with a future. She tried to break free. She deserved to live. Rest in peace, Anitra.